Well, hey everyone, welcome back to the garage. We had a little fun on the road at Mecum Auto Auctions, dreaming about stuff we can't afford or can't fit in. But it's time to get back to reality. So today's project, we're back on the Chevelle for a little bit. We replaced the glove box lock. This is the old one, and it wouldn't latch right. Like you had to slam the door closed, and then as long as you don't hit any big bumps, otherwise the door would just sort of fall back open. And it had no cover on it, so it looked janky, and the key didn't work. So we're gonna replace it with a new one, and I'll show you how to do that, how to get the old one out, how to get the new one in, and talk a little bit about how these tumblers work, a little bit of a mechanism to them, and kind of how key tumblers in general work, and then we'll get this one put back in. So let's get after it. Okay, so first I'll show you how these come apart. These here. There actually is those little, if you've ever seen how a lock works, there's little pins inside. And when you push your key in, there's little grooves in the key. They push those pins into a certain, to try to get them level, right? So each pin is going to be different lengths so that when you push the key in, all the pins are even. And then this will turn inside. Those pins will be out of the way, and the lock tumbler can rotate. So that's how you get different key cuts as you change the little pins on the inside. That's true with door locks, with house locks, with car locks, any other kind of like mechanical lock mechanism like this. That's how that works. So in these, you've got the little tumblers are visible right here. Not sure why that's showing up on camera, but little brass pin there. You got to push it down, and then it goes out past that notch and gets to the next one. And then you do the next one, and then the next one. I think there's 5 total. And then you can pull it out. So here's those pins, right? So the key, when it goes through this hole, is going to line those pins evenly so that this tumbler can turn inside that sleeve. Generic scenario is just take this whole mechanism out, put this one in, and now I have a new lock and it works, which is fine, but then I'll have a third key. And I'd really rather not have 2 different door keys that I or whoever the next owner of this car happens to be someday has to keep track of which one's for the door and the trunk and which one's for the glove box. And I don't want to change all the other locks just to have this one keyed the same. So I'm going to try to pull these pins out of the old one and put them in the new one so I can reuse the old key. That's how you get them apart. So now we'll get this old one off. In this case, so this has got a little shroud around here, and I want to take this panel off. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's 8 screws in this. I don't know if you didn't have a small screwdriver. I was gonna say maybe you could take this off inside the car, but I don't think you can. It'd be hard to get to these screws back here. So it's still probably easier to take it out, put it on a bench. It's not that hard to get out anyway. So similarly, it's got the same story here. This has to come out a certain way, and it give you a little notch here to get down in there. First challenge I have here is, in order to get that out, you can see where, again, I put this back in, you see where those pins are. This has to be vertical. This one is not, it's offset. And the key, the door key for the car, doesn't actually work. I'm not sure if it's just broken or if they replaced the keys for the car before I got it and just didn't replace this one, because this just doesn't even go in the hole and it won't turn. So this doesn't lock. So when you push this closed, a pin comes into here and would lock that, right? Like that, and that would keep it locked. And then when you unlock it, it pops open. This is not locking forward at all. So where I can see on this one, this is the new one. This is actually locked. So that comes up and clicks in place and locks. So you have to put this into a locked situation and then turn the key up and down, and then you can get there. This one won't lock, it won't latch, I should say. This is maybe where like lock picking skills would come in handy. But I don't know how to do that. It's like it's not that it's not cut right, it's like it's the wrong key. You see like these keys have a wide cutout here, which does map to a, I can see a piece in there, a little small slight cut there, and a small cut on the back side. And it doesn't even want to go in there. It doesn't even want to go in the hole at all.
That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
Like it's only going in that far. So it's possible that the previous owners of this car, you know, when they did their restoration or refresh or whatever they did to it, they changed the locks out, got new keys, and never, you know, this was broken and couldn't get it out and just left it. So this isn't even the right key. Not even the right cut of key. So I figured out on this one, is it true on this one too? It is. There's a side axis here. And you get something rigid, and you're just doing the same thing like I'm pushing on those tumblers. Just pushing those pins. The problem in this case, I don't have the cap, so it's hard to pull on, but I'm just using a screwdriver. I'm prying out here, and it is coming out. It was coming. You see it's come a couple of notches out. So I think I've gone through 2 of the tumblers. I'm kind of messing this up. Let me get something plastic. Anything big enough? It's something, I can't get the angle in here. I need something that's going to be a little bit bent. Well, this wasn't very rigid. But maybe it'll work. Just push the next pin in. And we're out. Okay, so see, that wasn't that hard. So there's our old one. They're old pins. See, this doesn't even go in the lock. It goes in this way though, but still. So it's not that it's not keyed right, it's just the wrong base, the wrong, what do you call them? I used to work at a hardware store and did rekeying, or yeah, well I did that too, but did key blank. It's the wrong key blank. That's the word I'm looking for. You can tell, again, at least with these GM keys, there is a stamping on them. Like I said, I think that one says H. My new one says K. So those are the different blanks. Since my keys aren't the right ones, it won't do me any good to rekey this. So I'm just gonna put the new one in and we'll just have a third key. That's a bummer, but that is what it is. We'll do the same thing on this one. Push these pins in. There's that pin. Push that pin in. And you pull out. And there's the next pin. And then the last pin. That comes up. Now, this piece threads out. And this goes on the back. And this goes on the front. So this one should thread out of here. It is got a hex insert in it, so you can put a right size, some sort of driver in there and drive that out, but it usually threads out by hand. Mine did. Now, this has a notch. There's a notch right here, so you want to line that notch up so that way it doesn't rotate on you. That keeps it in place. And we'll put that one back in. Just Gotta kind of do the same thing in reverse. Gotta push those, get those pins to go in. But you can hold this up in that lock position. And it pushes in there. There we go. Now we lock it. I can unlock it. Now we have our nice looking cover again. Now let's put this back together. Okay, now we'll get back in the car. So this can be a little tricky to do. Just trying to get your hands and all that and a screwdriver in a tight space. This flap here screws down 4 holes here. For that though, you got to get this little arm hooked in, goes in this hole here. So just kind of hook it in, and then you flip that flap up on top, and then these little screws screw it down. The hard part is getting these screws, you know, it's a very small screw in a very tight space and a hole you can't actually see from the top. Once you get this in here, you can't really see the holes anymore. You're just kind of guessing. It just gets a little bit tricky, but just keep kind of fishing around, and eventually just there we go. It just kind of drops in. Try to start it by hand a little bit if you can. Again, they're really small and they're like a sheet metal whatever screw, so they, you know, they're going to bite a bit. They're not going to just smoothly screw in all the time, and that can be a bit of a pain on your fingers particularly. And then once you get them in, once you get them started, then you can drive them in with something, screwdriver or whatever. A stubby screwdriver would work okay in here. It's a little difficult to do. I'll show you that here in a minute. And then, let's not throw the screws away. And then another option would be like a right angle screwdriver, which would be a lot easier. I don't have one of those. So like you use a little stubby one, but it's barely stubby enough to get in here, and it just does not, you know, you can screw it in there. But if you don't have a stubby screwdriver, or a ratcheting stubby screwdriver, that would be really handy, which I have, but it's just a little long and too long for this. So the other option would be you take a ratchet, in this case I have a powered ratchet, with a 1/4 inch socket on it. A 1/4 inch socket holds your screwdriver bits. Now be careful with this. If you want to do it with a power one, because it is just plastic and it will strip very easily. The other problem with this creative method is this isn't magnetic. So the nice right angle screwdriver heads are magnetic and hold the bit in. So if you have one that you can magnetize, do that. Otherwise I just kind of hold it with my fingers. Nice about this too is it has a little light on it. But yeah, you just want to go really slow so you don't strip everything out. Now the other problem I have with this is fitment. So see, this is fit. Yeah, see how it, I don't know if you can see that in camera, but it catches here at the top. So whoever did this before, I think it's a replacement dash. There's some fitment issues with the dash itself. So I think this is either an aftermarket, you know, lower dash panel, or a pull out from another car, or, you know, just wasn't exactly the same. You know, tolerances back in the 70s weren't what they are today. So when you screw this down, it doesn't quite line up. Now I can jam it closed and it will close, but I'd like to see if I can adjust this without having to cut anything. And I don't know if that would be pull the bottom out. It really needs to go down, but it can't go down because that flap is where it is. I mean, it's possible it could tighten it a little more. Let's just tighten it by hand now. I don't want to do it with power anymore, just in case I screw something up. I mean, it'll close, right? Kind of barely. There. And it looks okay, but it's off here because it won't sit inside that recess. So I don't have a great option for that. It's good enough for now. At least it closes. It doesn't pop open on me when I'm driving. But I would love to hear if you guys have a better, if anybody's got a better, solution for that. Comment down below or shoot me a DM or something, because I would love to be able to fix that, but I don't really know. I don't really know the best way to do that. So maybe some of you smart folks out there do. Regardless though, it's installed, right? And it works and it won't pop open on me and it looks normal. Doesn't, it's not perfect. This isn't a perfect car. It's a driver. So I'm happy with it, but that's how you change the lock, and hope that helps you. Good luck with your project, and we'll see you next time.